The Illinois primary is February 2nd, less than 2 weeks away. And if you were paying attention last night, there was a big debate in Champaign between all 7 Republican candidates for governor. One of those candidates joined us this morning, Dan Proft. Thanks for coming in, sir.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
We appreciate your time. Speaking of the debate last night, how did it go for you? Tell us a little bit about it.
No, it was great. It was a great format. We got a lot of chance to interact both with the other candidates as well as many of the 300 or so people that were in attendance. And I discussed my kind of vision for policy revolution in this state, really rethinking all of the big ticket systems in the state government that drive our quality of life, not a single one of which is financially sustainable, and not a single one of which serve the folks in the middle in this state who get squeezed from both sides, who finance the state government. They get very little back from in terms of either benefits or services.
With 7 candidates up there in the debate and during the primary, how hard is it to set yourself apart with so many candidates?
Well, it is. I think voters are still kind of having a difficult time discerning the differences between the two, but I think we present a value proposition that's qualitatively different. When I say policy revolution, I really mean revolution. The other gentlemen in this race are all fine people, but they're essentially proposing a more orderly going out of business sale for the state. I'm the only candidate proposing structural tax cuts. I'm the only candidate proposing statutory spending caps, and I'm the only candidate talking about rethinking K-12 education in this statewide opportunity scholarship program to change the way money flows and who gets to make spending decisions in K-12, not just a couple more charter schools or tinkering on the margins of education systems that are failing throughout Illinois.
And you're famously known for saying Illinois isn't broken, it's fixed. You want to expound on that?
Yeah, I mean, the politicians say Illinois is broken, the state government is broken. Well, that means state government is not producing what it's intended to produce. But in fact, state government is producing exactly what the Chicago Democrats want it to produce, which is guaranteed jobs and guaranteed pensions for patronage armies in Chicago and Springfield, who in return for those jobs and pensions provide the political support that sustain and advance the careers of the established order of things in Springfield. So Illinois isn't broken, it's fixed, meaning the fix is in for the Chicago Democrats and their political functionaries and against those folks who play by the rules, who get fleeced by a state government that they pay for.
All right, tax is the big topic last night. Everyone's talking about, wanting to lower taxes instead of raising them, like some folks on the other side of the aisle. Yeah,
I mean, my opponents are talking about holding the line on taxes, and against the backdrop of 25-year high unemployment, where we lost 52,000 manufacturing jobs in 2009 alone, the largest single job loss in a year in the manufacturing sector in a century in this state. I am saying we need to cut taxes. I've proposed cutting the personal and corporate income taxes in half and eliminating the estate tax, because we need to reward work and investment if we'd like to see more of it.
All right, it seems like everyone wants to overhaul the way folks look at Illinois government. How do you plan to do that?
Well, I mean, I think the big thing is you have to recognize that in the last 10 years in particular, we've had a spending problem in state government, not a revenue problem. Actually, state spending has increased at 8 times the rate of population growth adjusted for inflation. So one of the other things, in addition to cutting taxes, we need to restrain the public sector from crowding out private sector investment. And this is where I talk about statutory spending caps that would freeze state spending at its current level and only allow for incremental growth on an annual basis equal to population growth plus inflation. And any money that's received in excess of that allowable incremental growth would be rebated to taxpayers. So you put the politicians in Springfield on a permanent spending discipline that they must abide year over year in perpetuity so that we get our financial house in order.
All right, last question. We were talking earlier about the results in Massachusetts and in Virginia and New Jersey. You think that's swinging toward the breadbasket of the U.S.?
Look, I really do. The pendulum is clearly swinging back. Chris Christie in New Jersey and Scott Brown in Massachusetts in particular. I mean, people are looking for qualitatively different leadership. They are not settling for navel-gazing rhetoric and platitudes from the 1980s. They want to see people that are willing to take the fight to the established order of things, which is really the value proposition of our candidacy. And if the Republicans in this state can get their head around them to take the fight to the Chicago Democrats and start, instead of being complicit with that agenda, then we can absolutely see the same revolution in Illinois that Massachusetts just enjoyed earlier this week.
All right, Mr. Proft, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
All right, do you want to see a replay of this?